Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today we're building a Bosch hand tool panel. We've done DeWalt, we've done Ryobi, we've done Milwaukee, we've done a few of the big brands. We've never done anything with Bosch Professional hand tools, or their power tools to be fair. I've had a few of these Bosch Professional tools before. I got this triple pack here from the Bolton Tool Fair, and I was really impressed by the quality, which has led me to buy every other hand tool that they have on offer, because their stuff is just really good. It's not a huge range, but what they have, from what I can see, is great stuff. So, I bought everything with my own money. This hasn't been sent to me, so we can have an impartial review of all their tools. We can go through them and at the same time put together a layout. Now this is the foam we're going to be using. It's the exact same size as these two panels behind me. We're going to be putting this in a French cleat frame so it can literally sit on the wall, and we're going to be going for some blue shadow foam. So I'll open these all up, get a layout sorted as we talk through them, and I can show you my top 5 Bosch Professional hand tools.
We've dealt with Bosch before. Shouldn't be a problem.
So the first tools we'll look at are their basic things really. There's nothing too special to talk about, starting with their triple pack. So this, like I say, came from the Bolton Tool Fair, and it was a good representation really for me of how good the Bosch Professional tools are. So there's a torpedo level, a 5-meter tape, and then like a standard utility knife, but they've got a really nice feel to them, and they're all nicely branded, and they're just solid. And the knife here, it's got some blade storage in the handle, and it's just got a nice grip to it. All these tools feel like nice solid items, comfortable in the hand, nice and solid, as is their 600mm level. So again, the first things I'll just get on this board are the things that don't really have any kind of USPs really. And if you don't know what that is, that's unique selling point. So if they don't have anything unique or special about them, I'll just kind of get them on the board. So the 60cm level, I couldn't see anything too special about it on the listing. But again, it's got a nice weight to it. It's nice and solid. It's a chunky old thing, that, to be fair. It's much wider than a normal level. From the front, you can see it's just got this kind of vertical level, but from above, you can see there, 2 other vials like hidden in the bottom. And then this has got, I wonder why that, let me know in the comments. Is this just more accurate when it has like a little bit of a dome shape on it? Cool looking thing. It's going on the wall. Next up, we've got the Bosch hammer. Now, they only have one hammer to choose from in the range. And this is a bit of an unusual one. It's not a claw hammer. It's not a ball pine hammer. It's kind of what you'd call an engineer's hammer, or they call it a universal hammer. It says it's suitable for lots of different applications. Reminds me of like a metalworking hammer. It's almost like a chisel with a handle on it. Pretty cool thing. Nothing too special though, so I'm not got it in my top 5. Next up, they've got some Allen keys and Torx keys, which match the style and the theme of their hand tools. And I think Allen keys are a must for any pretty standard tool kit, so it's good that they've got those. The Torx keys that they have are the best version of Torx keys, the most useful, and they are security Torx. They've got the little dimple in the end. If you ever see Torx keys without that, typically they're not as usable or not as useful. These though seem pretty nice. The holder's nice and compact and solid. Some of these are like really flimsy and like wobbling about, but again, they're not making it onto the top 5, but they're an important hand tool to have in your kit. Next up, we've got their folding knife. Now, like I said, I already had the Bosch knife, this one. But this is a review of all of the Bosch tools, so it was important to get everything, including a duplicate knife, because you just never know, really. Are we going to find some really cool innovations on these things?
How innovative! I like it!
So it's pretty typical, to be fair, when it comes to a folding knife. Got blade storage in the handle, though, which is nice. Not all of them have that. Feels nice and solid, but not too special, and that's why that is our lead into our top 5. You can consider all of that number 6, or maybe number 7, because I have another item too that's going in this wall. Not quite a hand tool. Maybe you'll consider it a hand tool. It's kind of a crossover from power tool to hand tool. I got this a while back from Costco, and essentially, it's a little electric screwdriver in a mini L box, and it comes with a set of bits as well. So that's going to be going in the wall just because I've used it a couple of times, and it's a beauty. It's a really nice solid item, feels really good, and it's got a fair bit of torque on it, so it can really drive some screws in. That is going in the wall. So that is all of the Bosch tools that didn't make it into the top 5, which hopefully tells you they've got some good stuff. Starting with number 5. So number 5 on the list is a tool I've had for a lot longer than everything else. I actually forgot I had this. I was rounding up all of my Bosch tools to get them ready for this video. I found this. This was in one of my old compact tool kits. And essentially, it's not a folding saw, but it's very similar in concept. It takes standard Recip blades. They just slot in the front here, and the mechanism for kind of gripping onto them is really nice. You just press that and it basically squeezes the metal on either side of that Recip blade, and it gets a really tight hold on the blade. Now, some of these folding saws, sometimes they can be a little bit floppy, a bit kind of weak, and they don't feel too solid. So when you're going to go and start sawing something, you might be a little bit worried it's going to fall out or potentially cut you or hurt yourself. So this thing has got a really nice positive lock. You put the blade in there and it can take any sort of Recip blade, and when you push that kind of trigger, that mechanism up to the top, you can feel it's a really positive click. It kind of ratchets into place. So it's a bit of a quirky one, this. It's not part of the standard Bosch Professional hand tools, certainly their new range of stuff. This isn't included, but it's still on Amazon. It's about 15 quid plus VAT, and they just call it Bosch handle for recip blades. Do they call it folding saw or compact saw? No, they call it Bosch handle for recip blades. But I like it, and it's a great little tool to have as kind of a backup. If you want spare saw or a little spare pad saw that packs away nice and tidy and it's not going to kind of rip your tool bag or anything, that is a nice little choice. So that is my number 5. Let's look at number 4. Next up, we've got the Bosch Plier set, and I've added to that the wire stripper because, like I said, it's quite a concise range of tools in the Bosch Professional stuff in the lineup. So they've got this as like an extra, and I thought, best get it. We can give it a real true appraisal. So what have we got in here? We've got 160mm long snips, which don't seem too bad. We've got long nose pliers and bull nose pliers. It's weird, they're like a satin finish, and then this is like a chrome vanadium finish. So slightly different, clearly made in different factories. Handle's the same though. This is pretty much it. They've got the triple set, and then you can add on a pair of wire strippers. Now, the reason why they're in number 4 is because they're pretty good value and they're really solid. The handles feel really nice, got a good grip to them. They're not VDE, and I couldn't see that they had any VDE, and basically that means electrically insulated, so you can work on, not that you should be working on live cables, but they're 1000 volts insulated. Now, they don't have any that I could see in the Bosch range, but I'm sure they'll be adding to it all the time. Usually, if it says on it chrome vanadium, like here, it'll be a chrome finish, where these are like a satin finish, which is a bit more premium, to be honest. And they're nicely lined up. Pliers, they're not all like cheap bent out of shape set. And then we've got the wire strippers, which also got the same finish, nice laser engraving on them. Tidy little thing. So it's a pretty good set, and it's a must for any toolkit. That's another reason why I kind of like the Bosch stuff. If you're looking to start a tool set, sometimes you'll look at a brand that makes tools. You look at Knipex, you've got pages and pages of pliers, and where do you start? Especially if you're a bit of a newbie, you don't know what tools you need, what tools are a bit excessive. You could pretty much buy the entire Bosch hand tools range and have a great, good quality starter kit, to be fair. And that is a good example of it. You buy that set, that'll last you a lifetime, and you probably don't need too much more. One of the notable misses for me that I've noticed already is they don't have any pipe grips. Really, if you're buying pliers like that, you'd have a set of pipe grips to go with it. They don't have any in the range, but that being said, they've still got some other belters. Let me show you number 3. So third on the list, we've got something which is an essential part of any toolkit. Every toolkit needs a set of screwdrivers. Now, the Bosch screwdrivers are definitely a step above, or a couple of steps above, your standard screwdriver set. This is why it's in the 3rd position. These aren't just your bog standard screwdrivers. There's a few good things about these. There's a few notable features. The first of which is they have what's called like a through tang. The metal of the shaft of the screwdriver goes all the way through to the top. So if you're really struggling, you can kind of knock on the top of it. Sometimes you can cut a new head on a screw. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, a bit of a demolition screwdriver and a standard screwdriver. They're magnetic, they're chrome vanadium, so they're not going to rust on you, but also they've got this hex section here. So if you're struggling to get a screw undone, you can put a spanner on there and get a load more torque. So all of those things aren't common in a standard screwdriver set. So Bosch have clearly thought, we're going to add some screwdrivers to this range, and we don't want to add your basic stuff, let's just add a really good set. And there's a good weight to them too in the hand. They feel really, really solid. And that's a bit of a running theme, really. Every single one of these items is kind of standard, but really solid and well made, which is what you're looking for, especially if you're trying to put a good single branded toolkit together. I think you can't go wrong with a Bosch set. So that's number 3. Let me show you second on the list. So second on the list is another cool item, not quite a hand tool, not quite a power tool, kind of crossing over the middle ground. This is the Bosch multi-detector, they call it, but essentially it's a stud finder.
Beep, beep, beep. Looks like I found the stud.
But it's a lot more precise than your typical. I've used a few stud finders over the years, and I'm kind of moving my way along a wall trying to find a joist or trying to find a stud. It's a bit sus trying to find, is it there? Sometimes it's moving and you're trying to get that marking on the wall so you can, you know, get a really good fix in. And then also it's usually going left to right. This thing is a lot more accurate because it's left, right, up, down. And once you've found where the joist is, you get a pen with this and you can kind of mark exactly where it is, which for a joist, it's not super important. You've got a 38mm bit of wood you need to hit, so it doesn't have to be super accurate. But if you're trying to miss a cable or a pipe, you want to know exactly where that is. Let me know in the comments if you ever used a detector and you're trying to check where the cables are and all of a sudden the whole wall's looking like it's live, there's electric everywhere. Well, so far I've used this a couple of times and it goes orange when you're getting close, it goes green when it's bang on, and it's just so far been really, really accurate. It's 80 quid this was. It came in a bit of a kit, it came with a pouch and a pen as well. So a pretty good thing, and so far really reliable, and another solid item which is going in the wall. And that brings me to number 1. Now number 1 is something better than I expected. It looked pretty standard, it's a pretty standard offering. When I opened it and had a look at it, it jumped straight into the top spot. So let me show you. So number one on the list is a set of ratchet spanners, which off the cuff doesn't sound that special, does it? We've all seen ratchet spanners, we know what they are, they all seem pretty standard. However, this surprised me. The listing on Amazon, which is where I got this set from, it was pretty cool because the top review had a guy who'd cut them all into shadow foam, so it was already onto a winner as far as I was concerned. It was 80 quid, and it doesn't mention the feature that I was the most impressed by. It talked about limited backswings, that's all it said. The reviews talked about them being really good quality, but as soon as I opened them up, I was impressed by what I would call this flow drive. So it's a ratcheting spanner, but it doesn't have your typical ratchet. It doesn't click at all. Now, we've seen this before. One of my favorite tools, which was from Germany, is in our display here, is the Imbus flow drive. Now, this is a ratcheting screwdriver, and this was like 50 quid for a screwdriver that essentially doesn't have a ratcheting mechanism. So it means you can do micro adjustments. And if you're trying to get into tight spaces, not having to click it loads can be handy, but far more handy in a spanner. You just imagine if you're trying to undo a nut and you're trying to get another click on it and it's really, really tight. The ability to literally have micro adjustments on this, I think, is really underrated. It doesn't even mention that on the Amazon listing. So as far as I was concerned, this was just a ratchet spanners. This was going to be in our initial pile of tools and wasn't even going to have anything special. And as soon as I saw that, it went straight to number one, because also it's like a satin black. You don't see many spanners that are like this, really nice. I don't know if it's powder coated or what, but it's just a really nice quality spanner. So that is my number one pick for the Bosch tools, and it wasn't something I expected. Let me know which one is your favorite, and have you used Bosch hand tools yourself? Or maybe you're a Bosch power tool user. I've got a few Bosch power tools. Maybe that's something we need to look at in the future, their 12 volt range. I've looked at a couple of their power tools in the past, and they are pretty good quality as well. I think there's a running theme with the Bosch Professional stuff. I think the problem is that Bosch also have their green lower level brand. It gave me a bit of a dodgy opinion of the pro stuff, to be honest, because the green Bosch cheap stuff was so bad and cheap. So there we go. I've got a new opinion of Bosch hand tools now. There's some absolute belters here, including the spanners. All I've got to do now is tweak this layout, fill in a few gaps with maybe some of my Bosch power tools to make sure this thing's full, and then I can cut them all in here, make it look decent. So let me sort the layout. That is the layout all sorted, and I added a few items because there was a bit of room. So first thing I added was an item I forgot about, and that is their Torx screwdrivers. So these aren't through tang, but they're the exact same. So you can see one of the normal screwdrivers with the metal all the way through to the top. The Torx screwdrivers look the same, they just don't have that through tang. So I've added those, and that kind of looks nice up at the top here. And then I've also added a couple of the 12 volt tools I had. So I've got a multi-tool from Bosch. Not used this a great deal, but it's small, compact, and it's handy to have in here. And then we've got the Bosch GSR. So if you don't know what this is, it comes with 4 different heads, and basically you clip them on like that, nice and easy. I know it's a combi drill. Take that one off, put this one on, and it's an impactor. One tool for 4 different applications, because you've also got an impactor to go around corners. This is basically just a right angle tool, so you can turn that into a combi drill or an impactor around corners, and then an offset impact attachment as well, which is particularly handy if you're trying to get into cupboards or right up against a flat surface. The width of the body can actually block you. So by having an offset impactor, that is really, really handy. So great little kit that. And because there was space in the wall, I wanted to keep it all Bosch themed, all Bosch colours. So we've added those, and that pretty much fit. Oh, and a torch. I do love this 12 volt range because I've got one of the heated jackets, which I love, and they take the same batteries. So they were the additions, which fills up the panel, makes it nice and smart. All I've got to do now is cut around all the items, peel back the foam, and make a tool organizer. And for that, all I need is the first thing I've already got on, already prepped with an anti-cut glove, and that anti-cut glove comes in the cutting kit. Now, most orders on Shadow Foam come with a free cutting kit, and that's got scalpel, blades, everything you need to cut and shape the Shadow Foam for exactly your needs. So that's all I'm going to use. Also, we've got a great offer on now. It's called the Shadow Foam Starter Kit, and it's a pack of either 5 sheets of 30mm or 3 sheets of 50mm, plus a cutting kit, plus you get a folding ruler. Nice little bundle, and there's a big discount on it as well. It's usually like 66 quid, and it's reduced down to about 44. So it's a great way to start, and all of the colours are available. So we'll put a link to that. It'll be called the Shadow Foam Starter Kit, and it's as simple as cut and peel. All you do is place the item where you want it to go, measure it, check it's in the right spot, and then you just cut around the item with the scalpel. You're using the scalpel like a pencil, and you're just capturing that silhouette on the foam. You're not cutting very deep at this point, you're literally just transferring that shape over to the foam. Once you've gone all the way around and you've met back up the start, you can take the item away, and then you shouldn't be able to detect where you've cut, but if you press down, you can see that cut you've made, and we can go back and cut a fair bit deeper. Now that spanner there is only about 8mm deep, so we only need to peel out like one layer, 8mm, 10mm of foam, but we can well overshoot it on cutting the depth, and we want to overshoot it. We'll get a much nicer peel if we've cut down maybe 15, 20mm. So there we go. Once I've cut all the way around it to the right depth, I just push my finger down one end and then find a natural seam. I can feel one there, and then just pull it back towards yourself, and then you kind of chase it out with your finger all the way. And I like that contrast. I thought blue was a good choice for Bosch, and we've not used blue for a tool banner before. And there we go. That's the first item done. Best cut the rest of it. So there we go, that is all the foam cutting done, and that was about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe at a stretch. And it's looking pretty beastie. I think this is one of my favourite layouts. There's something quite satisfying about every single item being Bosch Professional, which while I was doing the layout, I did start introducing a couple of other random items, trying to fill it up. But actually, those torque screwdrivers that I forgot about managed to fill up the whole panel. So there we go, all done. And I've added finger pulls too. So for like the spanners in a row, I've just cut both sides of a ruler, 25mm width, and then done a track. Same for the pliers, same for the screwdrivers. And then for the single items, like here, I've used one of our stencil kits. They're a tenner on the website. Links for all this stuff's down in the description. And I've just used a semicircle on both sides, 40mm. And that means every item is easy to get out. And you've got to have that. I think finger pulls not only add to it, and you can see a bit of that blue popping through, it makes it a lot nicer to work with too. So that's all the foam done. So all I've got to do now is build a panel or a frame to house this sheet of foam, and then put a French cleat on the back so I can switch it out with the two panels that are behind me. Now, I've built a lot of panels before. Go and check out this playlist if you're interested to see the full build in all of its detail. But for this one, cue montage. And there we go, all done, up on the wall, on a French cleat, so I can lift it on and off and switch out these panels. Which reminds me, which one would you like to see us do next? We've done a few beastie panel builds, but there's a few brands we've not looked at. Let me know in the comments. I read all the comments, and I'd love to hear your ideas on what you'd like to see next. While you're down there, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Now, before we go, it's time to draw some more winners for one of our giveaways, or maybe two, depending on how much time we've got. So I've plugged in the video to the random comment picker. Let's see how many comments we got for this one. Now, I think it was over 1,000. This was Europe's biggest tool show. You can go and check out the video here if you missed it. We found some absolutely belting stuff. And in this one, we're giving away one of the Reload utility knives, which is like the most American style utility knife you've ever seen. Click a button and the cartridge flies out. So that's pretty cool. Lego pliers, pretty cool thing from SATA. And everybody loved the SATA adjustable spanner set that we found, plus some flex tape in a little packet and some other bits and bobs too. So we've got 1,563 comments. We're going to choose 5 winners. And as a reminder, all you had to do to enter that was just comment and subscribe. That was it. So let's pick 5 winners, starting with Aaron at 3407. He says, I'm a sucker for a clever gadget. So am I. So well done. That's the first winner. Next one, we've got Ollie G. And he says, wow, so many cool tools. I think SATA might be the one for me. Great vid, new subscriber from this video. Happy days. I really liked it. The SATA wrench adjustable set was really, really popular. Let us know if you'd like one of those, because they're not super easily available online. I got them from Amazon, then they all sold out. So if you're interested, we'll put a link below. You can go and put your name on a waiting list. If there's a few people want them, we'll talk to SATA, see if we can get them onto our new website, which is coming very soon. It's a bit of a teaser, but we are looking at supplying some of these rare tools, cool tools that we keep finding, and then you can't get them in the UK, and everyone's asking us, where can I get one? And basically, they're not available here. So we're gonna put a website together with all those cool things, all of those top-notch tools. That's a bit of a teaser. So stay tuned for that. We are trying to action the feedback we're getting. So that's the second winner. Third one is Finley Crow. Love that name, Finley. Another good haul. Wouldn't mind some of these tools in my collection. Well, you're getting a Toughbuilt reload knife and the Lego pliers. That's the third one. And number 4, we've got Graham Helkier Smith. He says, first site I have subscribed to. Amazing, yes. Would be interested in seeing tools. Just need to set up an online shop. Foreshadowing. I didn't read that comment, to be fair, but we've seen a few like it, which is saying, look, these tools are amazing. Where do I buy them? And some of them we can link, and the ones that we can link, we'll always put them in the link in the description. But then sometimes they sell out because loads of people go to buy them. So it's a bit tricky. We're going to solve that problem ourselves rather than trying to work with anyone, because it's been tricky to try and arrange, to try and source some of these tools. But we're going to make it happen. So not only are we going to action your comment, Graham, we're also going to be sending you a reload knife and some Lego pliers. Fifth and final winner is Mark Knox 3, and he says, I have to say, going around that exhibition, I would have been there for ages. I love ingenious tools, starting to fall for the Toughbuilt bits. Thanks for the great videos and content. Well, that show was 11 halls of tools, and we only really saw 3 or 4 of them. So we're definitely gonna have to go back, but that show's once every 2 years. So it's 2026 when that show happens again, and I'm gonna be there for a couple of days to make sure we don't miss anything, and we bring even more cool, innovative tools, and we will be able to make them available too. So that's the 5 winners for that, but it doesn't stop there. We've got another giveaway to draw, so let's have a look. Right, so we've got 621 comments. The way we're gonna do it is the first 3 winners are gonna get the belt loop and the knife, and then the 4th winner will get the PVC saw and the knife, and then the 5th one will get the folding pull saw, which is my second favorite Toughbuilt tool, plus the knife, and everyone will get a folding ruler. So let's pick the first winner. And we've got, that's a long comment, Johnny Olson, and he says, man, I had no idea how extensive their boxes accessories are. My local Lowe's barely has Toughbuilt stuff. Was already considering ditching my DeWalt boxes for it, but now it's a sure thing. I've been using their belt pouches for almost a decade now, and they have some well thought out stuff. Their portable folding work table is very good too. DeWalt has one also, but the Toughbuilt is the best. I love hearing US opinions on stuff, because you've got all the Toughbuilt. We've got like a tiny smattering of Toughbuilt, and you've got the whole range. So hearing your feedback and knowing that you're rating it highly is great to hear. I wonder if you've gone out and bought the Stack Tech, Johnny Olson, and let us know in the comments of this video if you have. We'll contact everybody for their addresses, but we're sending these back to America, to be fair. They came from America and they're going back to you. So you can get a scraper knife and the belt loop and a folding ruler. So that's the first one. Congratulations. Let's pick the next comment. Next one is Frank Contreras. Hopefully I've said that right. And he says, great video, huge fan of Toughbuilt too. Brilliant. So that's number 2. You'll be getting the knife and the belt loop. We're flying through these. Happy days. Next one is Vortex 4440. And he says, was looking at this, but couldn't wait for it to come to the UK. Wished I'd waited now. To be fair, it's still not in the UK. So you've not missed out. I don't know when it's getting here, the Toughbuilt Stack Tech. Hopefully soon, but I don't think it'll be this year. But you will be getting a Toughbuilt knife and a belt loop. So don't worry, you're gonna get a little bit of Toughbuilt. So that's the 3rd one. 4th one, we've got MTV7934. You do a lot of giveaways for some really nice tools. I would love to see a shadow foam giveaway for a few sheets of foam. I really love the look, but I have not yet pulled the trigger on buying because it's a decent amount of money for some people. Soon though, I will be buying some. Thanks for sharing. Well, I recommend going and getting our starter kit. That is, if you've been toying with the idea of getting shadow foam, we've got a great offer on now. It's called the Shadow Foam Starter Kit, and it is a pack of either 5 sheets of 30mm or 3 sheets of 50mm, plus a cutting kit, plus you get a folding ruler, a nice little bundle, and there's a big discount on it as well. It's usually like 66 quid, and it's reduced down to about 44. So it's a great way to start, and all of the colors are available. So we'll put a link to that. It'll be called the Shadow Foam Starter Kit, but you will be getting the PVC saw, which is actually quite good for cutting sheets down to size, plus the knife, and you'll be getting a folding ruler anyway, so you might have one to give away to someone else. So well done to MTV, you're our 4th winner. Let's go for the last 5th and final. You're getting the pull saw. Let's have a look. Zach Brown 8187, and he says, new to the channel, just started watching the vids. I really enjoyed all the tool fair ones and reviews. Happy to have you on board, Zach. Thanks very much for subscribing and commenting. And for anybody who doesn't know what's going on, we do giveaways in loads of our videos, and they're all really, really simple. Usually I'm out and about and I find cool stuff. So all of this stuff came from Lowe's. I brought it all back. And then basically, if you want to win any of it, you just comment and subscribe and just join the conversation. You don't have to say anything particular. As you can see from these comments, they're all random, and it's just joining the conversation about tools below this video. Now, we don't have any giveaways going on this video, but we've got loads of past videos that we haven't drawn from yet. So any videos following on from the Toughbuilt one, you can go back, watch them, drop a comment, and you'll be entered into the giveaway, and we'll probably do a couple more next week. Congratulations to everybody who won something. Good luck to anyone who might win in the next giveaway. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.